The Rewind Sports 60.
Sports 60. From the city of big shoulders, the jewel of the Midwest, comes a sports show that's one of a kind. From iconic players to iconic stadiums to iconic teams, this is my kind of town.
Chicago!
And the Rewind Sports 60 is my kind of show. From Air Jordan to Sweetness to Papa Bear Hallis, this city works hard, but plays even harder. Danny Carlino and Jerry Riles bring you the Rewind Sports 60. Live. The Rewind Sports 60 starts now.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back? Back again. Jerry's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? It's the birthday boy, JR, Jerry Riles, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the man on the street is back in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're broadcasting live from the fabulous studios of WCPT 820 AM Chicago Progressive Talk. This is the Rewind Sports 60. It is the fastest hour in sports conversation, ladies and gentlemen, in the greatest city in the world, in one of the fabulous neighborhoods in the city of Chicago, Jefferson Park. This is the Rewind Sports 60, and let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta tell you, I felt a little bit like, sorry about the music, it was a little bit too hot. Just like I am, hot, sizzling, on fire, just like this show, the Rewind Sports 60. But I gotta tell you, and I gotta bring in my good friend, well, let's just introduce him right now. This guy's the best. I'm just having so much fun already. But ladies and gentlemen, he could be on 79th and Ashland in the city of Chicago. He could be in Hyde Park at the University of Chicago. He could be in Evanston on Northwestern's campus, getting ready for some Big Ten football. Or he could be out in Oak Brook, just chilling like a villain at Mike Dick's restaurant out there. No, ladies and gentlemen, he's in studios. He's at WCPT 820 AM. He is the man on the street, and we missed him. He is the man on the street. He's Marty-B. What's up, Marty?
Hey, good afternoon, Jerry and Danny. I want to say to you, Danny, and of course, Dan isn't with us right now. He's at the ballpark. What a great job you fellas did the last 2 weeks. Jerry, happy birthday to you. And a young message to my dear friend, young Ryan Downing, Maine South High School, soccer, sophomore player. Have a great year.
Definitely. Hey, good to see you, man.
Oh, it's good to see you.
But the reason I bring you in, and we got to say, great job by our colleagues here, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, and the marvelous one, Dan Marver, because why? They did a fabulous job filling in. I was on assignment, of course, as you well know. You were on assignment as well. And I tell you, I almost felt like Wally Pipp. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He's the one. He's the only. He's DC. He's the Italian Stallion. He's Danny Carlino. What's up, Danny? How are you, buddy?
Happy birthday, Jerry. Good
Thank
to see you,
buddy.
Good to see you again, Marty. And, all I'll say for the last couple of weeks, I don't know if I pressed all the right buttons, but I know I didn't press any of the wrong ones. So that's all. And they didn't cancel us. So that was my main goal. I try to keep my You want to shoot for, I'm in between with that sort of thing. You want to have high expectations, but then you kind of don't want to have so high expectations that even if you do a good job, you feel disappointed. So I was like, I tried to keep my the reality low, but try to shoot for a little bit higher, and I hopefully ended up someplace in the middle.
You reached for the stars and you surpassed them.
Yeah, well, thank.
What are you doing over there? He certainly did. Devin Tingle. This guy. Let me tell you something. Tingle, come on over here, buddy. Come on over here.
He's WCPT's
Say hello to everyone, man.
Hi, everyone. I'm the guy behind the scenes. The guy running around screaming and crying and doing everything all at once.
Yeah, you know what? That's the role of a producer. And when you continue to work as hard as you work and do the things you're capable of doing, and what we talk about is kind of like a juggling act. You can juggle from one here, one there, boom, bang, bing, boom, boom. Once you get that mastered, let me tell you something. Greener pastures out there for you.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate all that. Time to go run back and see if I fixed my problem.
Hey, man, thank you so very much. Folks, I tell you, it is the fastest hour in sports conversation. But Danny Carlino and, of course, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, they did a heck of a job filling in and taking the reins over this show and doing a yeoman's job and making everybody proud. So I say thank you so very much. Fantastic. And, the best is yet to come. There's no question about it. And it made me feel, I can tell you, when I didn't get a chance to see the show or listen live. So I was in the airport in Frankfurt. In Frankfurt.
On the south, down south there?
Frankfurt, Illinois.
Is it Frankfurt with the O or Frankfurt with
Frankfurt,
the U?
Germany.
Yes, Frankfurt, Germany.
Did you bring me a Frankfurter?
Sitting, watching the Rewind Sports 60 in the airport on Facebook. With Danny Carlino and the Italian stallion Danny Carlino and, of course, the marvelous one. It was beautiful.
Did somebody walk up to you and tap you on the shoulder and go, "Was ist das?"
Gave me an elbow. Move over. I want to sit down and watch. It was a beautiful thing, man. So thank you so very much.
Well, it was fun. It was scary, but it was fun.
Yeah, what's life with a little bit of scary?
Yeah, if you don't have sweaty palms, I mean, why do anything, right?
They always say security stops progress.
Well, in Chicago, security stops a lot of progress.
Or you mean the security? It depends where you're progressing to.
You're absolutely right.
You can't progress there, son.
Folks, it is the fastest hour in sports conversation. If you want to be a part of it, feel free to give us a ring. Our number is 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, the Italian stallion, Danny Carlino, and, of course, the man on the street, Marty-B. On our TR60 hotline, we'll be coming back after our first time out here at WCPT 820. The marvelous one, Dan Marver, will be joining us on the TR60 hotline because he took in the Cubs game. And I think Joe Madden probably wished he asked for the marvelous one to come out there to help out. I think he probably would have asked him, say, "Hey, marvelous one, we need you to come and help us out." The Cubs fall to the Washington Nationals by a final score of 7-5 in 11 innings over at the friendly confines. And unfortunately for the Cubs, this past weekend wasn't too friendly for them. No question about it. They took it hard. And the Washington Nationals with the skipper Davey Martinez coming in and telling his mentor, his old boss, "Hey, this is how you play the game." And the Washington Nationals handed it to the Chicago Cubs. And I don't know what's going on with this baseball team, but it seems as if, man, Danny Carlino, they could be spiraling out of town, out of this race in the NL Central. It's just unbelievable how they come home, and then they come home, and you think, maybe they can handle business because they have been. But then the Nationals come in and say, "Hey, this is how the big boys play baseball." When they go on the road, it's a totally different story for the Chicago Cubs.
They're much less than road warriors, for sure. So they have to have the magnificent homestands they've had over the year. Otherwise, it's gonna be over for them because they can't seem to find their way. I'm surprised they're able to get out of the hotel on the road. The way they play, they always find a new way to lose, or they just get crushed. And usually, I mean, just like the way the first game against Washington, it's like, well, they usually have at least one blip on a homestand where they just get totally destroyed, and then the other games they find a way to win.
Right.
But they were fortunate to win that middle game against San Francisco, that crazy 12-11 affair.
Yep. That was a crazy baseball game. KB, Chris Bryant, he saved the day, so to speak. But that was a crazy baseball.
But he hits a home run, maybe one or two a week here and there, but he's nowhere to be found. If it wasn't for the guy they got from Detroit, I mean, there's no consistency whatsoever. Baez is nowhere near where he was last year offensively.
Nope.
Obviously, Contreras has been hurt. Rizzo's Rizzo, but he's not been Rizzo. Let's put it that way.
No.
And they don't have any consistent offense. Castellanos is the few games when they had on the road where they got one hit or two hit, he's the one that had all the hits.
Yeah.
So it's not, and their bullpen is.
Exactly.
Luckily for them, everybody's bullpen seems to stink. I mean, that's why the game went to extra innings in the first
look
place.
at what's going on with the Brewers. But the Wilson Contreras, you talk about him. He got tossed out of the game yesterday. He's on the IL. He's in the dugout. He's chirping at the umpire, and he gets tossed out of the game.
Yeah, usually when you're not playing, you're the first one. They're looking like, "Hey, you haven't even been on the field in 3 weeks. You shut up. You get lost."
Unbelievable, folks. We're going to take a short time out here. If you guys want to jump in, girls, you want to jump in, and again, our number is 773 763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. And when we come back, we'll get a chance to talk to the marvelous one, Dan Marver. He is at Wrigley Field. The Cubs, again, just fall. They were pretty much handled very well by the Washington Nationals. They fall 7-5 in 11 innings, and Cub fans truly aren't happy. We'll get a chance to talk to former Cub third baseman, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch the dial. Stay right here, 8:20 a.m. Whether you're listening in your car, whether you're listening online, WCPT.com, wherever you may be watching on Facebook Live, keep it locked in. We're going to be visiting one of the, to me, he was one of the best third basemen the Chicago Cubs ever had. No, we're not talking about the late, great Ron Santo. But Bill Madlock is going to be joining us. Yes, indeed. Bill Madlock will be joining us on our TRS60 hotline, folks. And for you youngsters out there, he was the heir apparent to Ron Santo, playing with the Chicago Cubs in the early 70s. And in my opinion, I never understood why they said Gary Scott was going to be the next Ron Santo. I had no idea why they said it. I don't know why they said that, Mark.
He had a grand slam once.
Yeah, once. I don't know why. But Bill Madlock was an impressive player for the Chicago Cubs at third base. He goes on to win a World Series title with the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979. He's going to be joining us, and we're going to go down memory lane talking to the great Bill Madlock, and of course the man on the street coming up. So keep it locked in. Bears Conversation. This is the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, the Italian Stallion, Danny Carlino, the man on the street, and marvelous one on our TR60 hotline coming up right after this short timeout. You've got the Rewind.
You're watching the Rewind Sports 60. Go Bucks! Woo!
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume, not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hey, Chicago, looking for a winning team on a winning station? You found it right here on WCPT 820 AM. Join Danny Carlino, Kelly Lee Williams, Dan Marvelous Marver, Marty-B, the man on the street, Gabe Salgado with updates, and yours truly, Jerry Riles, for your sports and entertainment needs. Looking for real sports talk? Got it. Real radio? Right here. Real stuff? We're here. The Rewind Sports 60 every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM. Real sports, real talk, just plain real. Lock it in.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Drops the ball! He drops the ball!
Mercy! Call your sons, call your daughters. call your friends, call your neighbors.
Stay in your lane, bro.
I missed this, man.
You gotta be bleeping me.
Yeah, you gotta be bleeping me. Come on.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can, ladies and gentlemen. 21 minutes after the hour here at WCPT 820 AM, the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. Danny Carlino, the Italian stallion, the man on the street, Marty-B. And, of course, on our TRS60 hotline, we go out to Wrigley Field and check out one of our favorites. He is the one, the only. He's the marvelous one. He is Dan Marver on the hotline. Marver, what's up, man? The Cubs fall. They lose 7-5 in 11 innings at the friendly confines. What happened? Did Joe Madden wave to you or what? I mean, what happened, man?
We're live from Wrigley Field. I'll tell you, I'm competing with Gary.
Marvelous
Who's
one.
doing the post-game music here. But they came back
Devin.
twice. I'll tell you, Caratini at a homer.
You got him?
Schwarber at a homer. It was electric atmosphere, but the Kimbrel
I don't
came
know.
in the ninth, and they just couldn't
You can hear?
make it happen.
Talk to him, Danny.
Yeah. So Dan, what do you make out of this team? The home was supposed to be their fortress, which they need desperately because we talked about last couple of weeks with their road woes. They stole one out of the fire the other night against San Francisco and completed a sweep with the Giants. But then a really hot Washington comes in and just controls them. The first two games looks like they're going to just walk over them the third game. Obviously said the excitement happened and forced extra innings, but in the end they come up with the hits when they needed them.
Well, with Strasburg pitching, it looked like it was going to be a no-brainer for the sweep. But they managed to get him out of the game. And again, they came back twice, and the atmosphere was electric. Caratini at a homer, Schwarber at a homer. They came back to 3-3, 5-5, and they just couldn't get it done.
You know what? We can't hear you. You can hear him, Danny Carlino?
Yeah, I hear him fine.
Marvelous one. Hang on. We can't hear you. You're not coming across the air. I don't know. Okay. He's coming in your headphones over there. I don't know. Hey, Marvelous. Hang on. Let's see if we can get you back up again.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm good.
I can't hear him. Well, we apologize for any technical issues that we're experiencing here at the Rewind Sports 60 at WCPT 820 AM. Please bear with us. But if you want to jump in and talk about some Cub baseball or, where this homestand is going and more importantly, or as important, what's going to happen with the remainder of this 2019 baseball season for your Chicago Cubs, will they, in your opinion, advance to the playoffs? There are a lot of people that believe that the Cubs will still somehow, some way, because the NL Central, it appeared to be up for grabs, but it seems like the Cubs have the best talent in that division, and they should be able to withstand Milwaukee, who lost today, and, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals, who are doing harm against the Colorado Rockies down in St. Louis. So I think it's going to go down the stretch. It's going to be the dog days of summer, and I think it's going to be it's probably going to come down to the last weekend, and it could even come down to the last game of the regular season to determine who's going to win the NL Central.
Well, I've never been known as a betting man, but if I had to, just based on just observing what's been going on, I think that, it's been a few years, but I think the Cardinals, because, they don't have any glaring strengths, nor do they have any really glaring weaknesses so much. Everyone's got bullpen issues.
Right.
The Cubs have never had a good bullpen. They haven't had a good bullpen.
Wait a minute. They didn't have a good bullpen when they were dancing. Every time somebody hit a home run, they were dancing.
They had a good dancing bullpen. As far as throwing, they weren't. Even when they won the World Series, if it wasn't for Chapman, they didn't have anything. Yeah. The guys did well in spots here and there, but overall, their bullpen was a weakness. This is why they got a closer. The year after, that was probably their best in this Theo rebuild.
Right.
That year after in 2017, that first half of the season when they actually were under 500 was probably the best the bullpen did.
Exactly.
Their offense was garbage.
Right.
And their starters, if they got to 5 innings, they threw a parade.
Yes, exactly.
So they kind of helped them stay somewhat within striking distance. The rest of the team kind of turned around. Milwaukee fell on their face, and they went on to they got back to the NLCS where they ultimately lost to the Dodgers. And what happened in that?
Right.
He didn't trust his bullpen enough. He puts John Lackey in there and gives a 2-run walk-off jack to Turner over there with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Mr. Pine Tar over there on his shoulder.
Exactly.
So once again, even when the bullpen was somewhat, sort of, kind of maybe halfway trustworthy, in the end it wasn't. He didn't trust it. It didn't work out.
And again, they didn't address the issues really during the off season, and that's why I think Joe Madden kind of like. And you know what? My wife would give me a hard time about whether how long Joe Madden was going to be the skipper for the Cubs, and I said, hey, listen, I'm I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot me. All speculation has said, hey, the Cubs are trying to indirectly force Joe Madden's hand and force him out because they didn't do anything during the offseason. They didn't give him anything. And so Joe said, hey, you know what? I'm going to prance whatever you've given me or not given me. I'm going to prance them out there and let them go to work. And if my starting five get their brains beat in, or even if they can maintain a lead and we go to the bullpen, it's not on me because this is all I have to work with. And lo and behold, he's been able to again, keep this team afloat as much as he possibly can. The Cubs, the front office, Theo and Jed, they really didn't do anything during the offseason to help out Joe Madden. And so, in my opinion, it's just a matter of time. If he can get through the rest of this end of this season and advance to the playoffs, I don't see a long run for the Cubs in the playoffs. But I think it'll be a credit to Joe Madden and his staff for them to be able to withstand the Milwaukee Brewers and, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals, advance to the playoffs, and, see what happens. But he's a dead man walking is basically what it was.
Yeah, I mean,
or what it is.
Yeah, and he, I understand the quirkiness that Joe Madden brings along, and people don't like his batting pitchers eighth and things like that. And he's old school, he's new school, he's new age, he's whatever the heck he's like kind of Rorschach test. He's whatever you want him to be if you want him to be such. You can point into his genius, and then you could point into some of his absurdity at the same time.
Right.
But he's certainly his results stand for themselves. I mean, he's gotten a lot of victories. He's gotten team to win the World Series that never hasn't done it in over 100 years, and he got a team to a World Series that most people didn't know even existed, even in their hometown, and they still don't.
You're right.
And they're good again. But I mean, but really, like we said, with the bullpen issue, they have not. I mean, they got Wade Davis the year after they won the World Series and let him walk.
Right.
And then they got, what's the guy's name? Oh, Morrow. The guy had a season or two decent in Los Angeles, and that was. Not that he's not a good pitcher, but as far as health, his issue was health.
Right.
And he's pitched like a half a year.
And that was suspect as well. But, Cub fans, and you appease to them, you try to, make them happy, and they say, hey, wait, that's a good acquisition. That's a good pickup.
As a closer?
Well, hey, that's what they would believe. That's what they were thinking.
For a team, for a big market team.
Right.
With such great young talent.
Right.
On the run that they're in, for you to go bargain basement, I mean, they paid him good money.
Right.
But they threw money at a faulty thing, at a mirage.
Right. But the one thing the Cubs didn't bank on, and we're going to have to go to a TR60 scoreboard update coming up soon, the one thing that the Cubs brass didn't bank on was for this incredible team that they put together from starting out like the White Sox currently are, the young kids coming up, playing effective baseball, believing, hey, this isn't your dad's team or your grandpa's team. This is a new generation. This is a new era. We can play ball. We can play with the best. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to scrap. We're going to hit. We're going to steal. We're going to run. We're going to catch. We're going to do all that stuff. And it paid off for them in the World Series. And so they figured, because think about this, Thad and Jed and Theo, they're thinking, hey, we got a 10-year run here. We got a 10-year run. We're going to win multiple World Series championships. They didn't figure in that these players, all the problems they're going to have, and all these players start to fizzle out, whether it's Addison Russell and what happened with him, whether it's the recent situation with Zobrist, whether it's somebody going down with injury, whether it's losing Jake Arrieta, whatever the issues were with this baseball team, they didn't count on that. They didn't count on Chris Bryant struggling. They didn't count on Anthony Rizzo having some issues. They didn't count on Wilson Contreras going down. They didn't count on some of these things. They didn't count on their team batting average to dip the way that they have. And so when you bring it on the bullpen, if you bring it on a closer, you're thinking you got a very cushy or comfortable lead based on the bats that you have in the lineup. And unfortunately for this baseball team, not the case.
Yeah, they've become an all-or-nothing team, and today is a good example. 4 home runs, and you lose.
And let me tell you something, and we're going to take a short break. We got Bill Madlock, the great former third baseman of the Chicago Cubs. Let me tell you this. And Cub fans, listen, I don't care if you get mad at me. I don't care if you hate me. It doesn't matter to me. But the one thing that I'm sick and tired of, and he's a great guy. I met him. I talked to him. I never hung out with him before. But Kyle Schwarber, the Babe Ruth of the Cubs, stop it. Stop it. He's not the second coming of the Lord. He's not. Stop it. He hits a home run here. He hits a home run there. Did he hit the scoreboard today?
I don't know if he hit the scoreboard. He hit the tying home run. Yeah.
Yeah, but I I thought he put it in Lake Michigan the way that they described how the home run.
It's like a fishing story.
I'm like, wow, this guy. Oh man, he tore the scoreboard down with his mammoth home run to tie things up. I'm sick of it.
Probably hit the basket.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. The guy's good. He's okay. He can hit when he connects.
Yeah, but he's indicative of the Cubs in general.
Yes.
Schwarber was good when everyone else was good. If everyone's going to turn into Schwarber and just hit a pile of home runs and do nothing else in between, that's why the team is where it is right now.
I'm just sick of it. He's not the second coming. He's not. He's not Babe Ruth. He's not Hank Aaron. Hell, he's not even Alex Rodriguez, and we know he juiced up. Stop it. Now, I can't give him credit and say he has improved in left field. He made a diving catch.
He hasn't hurt himself in 3 years.
Well, that's true. He's made a diving catch in the outfield in today's game.
He's got a great arm, too. If he feels the ball, he's going to throw you out. But more complimentary players. We need better players than him. And right now, everyone's playing kind of like him as far as offense.
If he played in the American League as a DH, I think you're seeing him kudos. I think you're seeing him praises.
At some point, he's going to have to end up there, I think. If the Cubs want to get some decent players to kind of fill out this team again, and even for his own career.
Well, Theo is waiting for the National League to get the DH. You know that.
Well, he's going to be waiting a little while, I think. I'm waiting for him to get rid of these ugly white uniforms.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about
the good humor man.
Before we go to
good humor man against Darth Vader.
Yeah, before we go to Gabe Salgado from Guaranteed Rate Field with our update, real quick. And I know it's the fastest hour in sports conversation, but what did you think of the uniforms and the nicknames?
The nicknames I've gotten used to because they've done it for a few years. The uniforms are horrible. I like the uniforms that the Cubs and Pirates wore at the Little League, other than the Cubbies thing and the Berg. I didn't necessarily care for that, but that was the design they used for the Players Weekend, like Little League stuff. I didn't like the all-black look for the teams. I didn't like the all-white look. The Cubs got in trouble, too, because the first game they wore the blue hats. And the pitcher can't wear the white hat.
Right.
But the rest of the team, if you're supposed to wear white.
Right.
I'm not buying it. I buy a lot of stuff. I bought the hats the last couple years. I'm not buying this.
Yeah. You know what?
I'm a baseball purist, plain and simple. I had a hard time accepting interleague play.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I did. I'm getting used to it, and I do like some of the rivalries, but on the whole, no, I'm a traditionalist.
I feel you. I feel you. I do. You know what's interesting?
Just give me good baseball. Don't glorify it.
Well, they're glorifying it with the long ball for sure. Addison Russell. What was his nickname? Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
I think this because the white, I couldn't see. Everything was white. They looked like freaking ghosts.
The other night, the Sox game, pardon me for interrupting you, Jerry. The other night, the Sox game, they were making the commentary, by God, because of the lights and the white hats. It was really distracting.
It was illuminating, yeah. Like Casper the Friendly Ghost running all around out there.
Ooh.
Hey, Addison Russell I think his nickname was Body, I think. But for a split second, because of all the white, I thought it said Bully.
Well,
bully.
Bully. Hey, Gabe Salgado, take it away. TR60 scoreboard update.
TRS60 Sports Update.
From Guaranteed Rate Field is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation. Thanks to 2 RBIs from Jose Abreu and 5 strong innings from Ronaldo Lopez, the White Sox defeated the Texas Rangers 2-0 on Sunday to take 3 out of 4 in this series. Lopez actually had a no-hitter going through 5 innings, but was pulled in the 6th inning due to what was described as dehydration and flu-like symptoms. Utility man Leury Garcia, who played left field today, was pulled in the 7th inning as well after getting hit by a pitch in the leg. After the game, manager Rick Renteria gave an update on both players.
I didn't know he was actually had something with his belly going on, so he might have been a little dehydrated. They're in there looking at him, and hopefully they're feeding him with fluids, and he'll be okay. Leury got hit in the shin. It's a bruise. X-rays were negative, but he should be fine. Probably day to day.
The Cubs had hoped to avoid getting swept by the Washington Nationals at Wrigley Field today, and they even forced extra innings to try to pull it off, but in the end, 2 runs in the 11th inning propelled the Nationals to a 7-5 victory over the Cubs to pull off this weekend sweep at Wrigley Field. The starters didn't play last night, but the Bears defeated the Indianapolis Colts 27-17 in preseason action. They got 2 touchdowns on defense, And Eddie Pinheiro made 2 field goals, one of which came from 58 yards. And the college football season got underway last night as well, as number 8 Florida defeated unranked Miami 24-20, and Hawaii won a late night shootout at home against Arizona 45-38. This update is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation, MEF, empowering the next generation of leaders. And don't forget to sign up for the Monster 5K Run and Walk this fall. Go to monstereducationfoundation.org to learn more. I'm Gabe Salgado for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820 Chicago.
You're watching the Rewind Sports 60. Go Illini!
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
How do you unplug, Illinois?
Adventure!
Fun.
Fitness!
Teamwork.
What's your outlet? Support your local park and recreation agency.
Hey, Chicago, looking for a winning team on a winning station? You found it right here on WCPT 820 AM. Join Danny Carlino, Kelly Lee Williams, Dan Marvelous Marver, Marty-B, the man on the street, Gabe Salgado with updates, and yours truly, Jerry Riles, for your sports and entertainment needs. Looking for real sports talk? Got it. Real radio? Right here. Real stuff? We're here. The Rewind Sports 60 every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM. Real sports, real talk, just plain real. Lock it in.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Oh, he drops the ball. Oh, he drops the ball. drops the ball.
Mercy! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, along with the Italian Stallion, Danny Carlino, and, of course, the man on the street, Marty-B, in studios here at WCPT 820 AM in the beautiful city of Chicago, on the north side of the beautiful city of Chicago, Jefferson Park, right here on Milwaukee Avenue. Every Sunday, 6 to 7 p.m., WCPT. And we want you to be a part of it. Mark your calendars, put it in your smartphone, whatever you may do to remind yourself to be a part of one of the best, if not the best, sports conversation in the city of Chicago. The sports show here in Chicago, it is the Rewind Sports 60. We're going to be with you for quite some time, and we're looking forward to our 2019 Chicago Bears football season, ready to kick off September 5th, Thursday at Soldier Field against our rival, the Green Bay Packers.
They're a rival, but they're
the Green Bay
much less
Packers.
significant.
And we're itching for a scratch. The preseason has not been interesting.
You know, when the most interesting part of the preseason is when the other team's quarterback retires.
Andrew Luck, unbelievable.
The third game of the preseason used to be when the starters played half a game. Now it becomes when the starting quarterback retires.
He's on the sideline. He said, "Hey, Jim Irsay, hey, listen, I'm done. It's over." He's on the sideline. I don't think if you retire.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't make any sense.
Nobody knows the situation and the pain he's feeling physically, but the timing certainly is less than ideal.
Well, he's a smart guy. He
Yes.
and his wife talked about it. He's a Stanford grad. He's done a fantastic job as far as trying to stay healthy in his his NFL career. But from the ankle to the shoulder to the elbow to the hamstring to all these injuries, he's just, hey, I'm just tired. I'm tired. He's 29 years of age. He said, I'm just tired. I mean, going through all these injuries and rehabbing and missing games, I don't have the love of the game anymore. I'm just simply tired, and I've made enough money. And now my buddy George Bliss, he told me, he said, Jerry, I think they did a CAT scan on Andrew Luck, and maybe they found something, and he's like, it's not worth the risk.
Which you couldn't blame him if that's the case.
No, you can't blame him whatsoever.
He's taken a beating.
He has taken a beating, and God bless him. The sport is going to be very interesting moving forward in the next 5 to 10 years to see the changes taking place. But there's a lot of changes that have taken place in a Major League Baseball, and of course here in Chicago, and particularly on the north side, the Cubs finally win a World Series after 100-something years, and they finally celebrated. This year, they're scratching to see if they can advance to the playoffs. But I can remember way back when, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman, now we know dear to our heart, the late, great Ron Santo, we do miss him, and he was a fixture at third base for the Chicago Cubs for a number of years over at the friendly confines, and some consider him one of the best ever to play the position in the major leagues. Brooks Robinson and Ron Santo had comparable numbers, and Ronnie was just a real trooper playing the hot corner over at Soldier Field. Well, this guy came in pretty much after Ron Santo, and I thought he held his own as far as the Cub third baseman was concerned. I know later on they talked about Gary Scott being the next Ron Santo, but I tell you, Bill Madlock played an exceptional third base for your Chicago Cubs back in 1974 to 76, and of course, the hot bat that this guy mustered up, a 3-time All-Star, 4-time national batting champion, 75, 76, 81, and 83. He's on our TRS60 hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome him. The WCPT 820 AM, the Rewind Sports 60, the one and only Bill Madlock. Mr. Madlock, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great here in Lake Tahoe playing a little golf.
Hey, man, stop rubbing it in. Stop rubbing it in. Don't do that. You're at Lake Tahoe and you playing golf. You're rubbing it in. Now, we love Chicago, and this is the time of year you want to be in the beautiful city, the greatest city in the world, Chicago. But I got to tell you, I wouldn't mind trading places with you, being in Tahoe, playing golf, my good friend. How's everything going?
Everything's going good. Oh, the weather is fantastic here. And, it's a lot of football players here, not too many baseball players. You got paired with Too Tall Jones and a few of the guys from the Raiders and Kansas City, but it's fun.
No, it's good, and I know you're going to be in Chicago in a couple of weeks playing in a charity softball game with the Chicago All-Stars Challenge coming up at the Impact Field in Rosemont in a couple of weeks. So we'll hopefully get a chance to chat with you then as well. But we appreciate you taking some time out and joining us on the hotline, man, because I don't know how much you've been following your Chicago Cubs, your beloved Chicago Cubs, so to speak, but they're struggling, so to speak, in the National League Central. They just got swept by the Washington Nationals here at home in Wrigley Field, where they have had a stellar record pretty much all season long. I don't know if you've been following it, but the race for the division.
I follow the Cubs every game, and starting the game in Philadelphia, that when Harper hit the home run, it seemed like things have been going up and down since then.
Yeah, that grand slam, to the walk-off grand slam, that was incredible. It was unbelievable. And, of course, I believe the Cubs, that really deflated their balloon. It really did, because you talk about that type of guy, Bryce Harper, with the amount of money that he's making and doing the job that they paid him to do with a jack-off home run grand slam to win it. And the Cubs just sunk their heads and walked off the field. Are you concerned about this baseball team advancing to try to get to the playoff once again, or is it over?
I think they get there. I think because of the division they're in, too, because you look at Milwaukee, Cincinnati have improved 100%. And, St. Louis are playing great ball, but I still think the Cubs are the class of the Central Division. I think it's going to be a struggle. They got to get this up together. The pitching got to come on, and most important, I think the relief pitchers got to do a lot better than they've been doing.
Bill, this is Danny Carlino here, and the way the Cubs have been going this year, can you explain? For all the years you played, have you ever had a season where you go on the road? It's almost like you're playing a different game. You don't know which end of the bat to hold. I mean, it's like a totally different team.
It is, you can't explain it because, just like when you're hitting, you think you're swinging the same, you think you're preparing yourself the same, just the results are different. And I think over the last few years, it's tough to see the Cubs in this type of situation because, for the last, 5-6 years, they've been, just lights out at home and they've been really good on the road. So you can't explain it. It just happened. Now, when you play that many games in the course of a 6-month period, you got your ups and downs. You got to have a leader. And they got that. They got Rizzo and they got Bryant. These guys are professional ball players, and they're gonna come out. It's just a matter of time because I know. Chris, he's up and down. He goes 2 weeks great, then 2 weeks of doing nothing. So, and that's what surprised me about him. He's usually so consistent over the course of the year. You know what? And it's interesting because when you look at the Cub lineup and you see these bats, if I'm an opposing pitcher, I'm kind of, my knees are kind of shaking because when you look at just the personnel on paper, they can do a lot of damage. They certainly can do that, and they certainly have proven to be able to do that. But for whatever reason, and I've never really seen it. You've played the game much longer than I have. You've been around the game a lot longer than I have and closer to the game. But I've never seen anything like this before where they come home and they're almost untouchable. But when they go on the road, it's like a totally different team. They got to the point, Bill, where they had to, on the road, I forget if they were in Philadelphia or where they were, but they had to take their home unis and put them in the locker room to psych them out. I've never seen that. Yeah, I've never seen that either. It is just they got a good team. They just got to come out. But, the way baseball is now, because you can score a lot of runs and you get strike out a lot. I've never seen so many times you getting the bases loaded with no outs, don't even come close to scoring. And I think that's what the Cubs are. They got a lot of strikeouts. Like Zorbert, they miss a guy like him because he was such a professional hitter. Right. And it's tough to find that. You either right now it's hit or miss. Rizzo's one of my favorites because you know what you're gonna get for him, and with Baez, he's fantastic. Probably the most exciting player in baseball, but still at times he's a hit or miss. And when the catcher come back too, that's gonna really help him out too. I think that's who they miss too. Yeah. And I think they miss. Regardless of what they think about Russell, I always thought he was a great player for the Cubs because you have to stabilize, their infield. You get good hitting on some of those guys, but they can't play the defense that Russell can play.
Yeah, I thought with Javi Baez and Addison Russell up the middle for the Cubs, that was a pretty good tandem. As far as Wilson Contreras is concerned, he controls the pitching staff. He does a fantastic job balancing those guys out. But there are a lot of question marks regarding this baseball team. The one thing that I've been puzzled about, Bill, and again, I wish I never advanced to the highest level of the sports such as you and others, but I for the life of me, since the Cubs lost Dexter Fowler to the St. Louis Cardinals, Joe Madden has been experimenting with a leadoff guy. I don't understand that. And Jay Hay has been doing a good job, but I've never seen that either. You get yourself a leadoff man. Set the table and let's go.
It still amazed me about the leadoff guys. And, before, the way they were looking when I played, Willie Stargell would be a leadoff. Willie Mays would be a leadoff. All the great home run hitters of our days would be leadoff hitters. Get a leadoff hitter. Get a number 2 hitter. Sometimes you might have to give up a little power, though, but you put those guys behind you, and instead of having the game 1-0, it might be 2 or 3-0.
Right.
And I think that's what you get when you put a Judd and you put a Rizzo or you put a Harper. Every team does that. With Fowler, he's one of my favorites. I worked with him when he was with with Colorado out there in Las Vegas. He was just, I thought he was just great for the Cubs, as a leadoff batter, as a player. I thought he was one of the key guys, the reason they won it. He wasn't the mainstay, but he was a good piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Bill, this is Mart Baumgartner. I remember 30 years ago when you were coaching in the Palomino League there. We had a doubleheader over in Glenview, and you and I spent the afternoon trying to hunt up baseballs because we were a little short. But you were quite a gentleman, and I know enjoyed watching your boy play, and we had a lot of fun on that cold, sunny afternoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, well, Bill, you know what? This is the fastest hour in sports conversation here in Chicago. We certainly miss you, and we appreciate you taking some time out to join us on our show, and we hope to get an opportunity to talk with you in a couple of weeks when you're participating in the Chicago All-Star Challenge on September 14th, Saturday, over at the Impact Field in Rosemont. And we want to say thank you again, and we're looking forward to talking with you. Our guys at Autograph One, Steve Gassman, and Seth, those guys, they're fantastic. And they'll be over there as well. But we just want to take some time out to say thanks again, brother. And glad everything is going well for you. And we appreciate the time and the great memories that you provided for us back in the 70s.
Okay, I appreciate it, Teresa, and I love being on with you guys.
Thank you. We'll get you back. It's a short time, but it's the fastest hour.
And I remember that All-Star game up in Milwaukee, Bill.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bill Madlock, outstanding third baseman for the Chicago Cubs, played with the Cubs in 74 and 76. He went on to, he was traded actually from the Texas Rangers to the Chicago Cubs, and Ferguson Jenkins went in that deal. The Cubs didn't. He wanted.
It's pretty big names for a deal like that.
It certainly is. But think about this, and Marty will get to the man on the street and what you got going on. But here's the deal. This is now they said that Phil Wrigley and they were kind of cheap, skimpy. He wanted a 5-year deal at $200,000 per. PK Wrigley said, "Get the hell out of here. Get out of here." They dealt him to the Pittsburgh Pirates. We are family. They go on to win the World Series in 1979.
But for only 3 years in Chicago to be the batting champion twice.
Yeah, he was impressive. He was impressive.
Obviously, all those day games that people complain about over the years didn't have an effect on him.
But he goes on.
Day, night, home, road, the moon. He'll hit.
We are family. He wins the World Series, and he's moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the man on the street, Marty-B. What you got for us, buddy?
Okay, Jerry. Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, next week I'm going to elaborate a little bit, a commentary on the late, incomparable Jack Whitaker. But I'll get to that next week because there's a couple of pressing items that I do want to mention. This Thursday night, 6 o'clock at the Harold Washington Library downtown, Mayor Lightfoot is going to give her State of the City address. This is not to be missed.
Really?
I know television is going to carry it. There's going to be a lot discussed from budgets to pensions to revenue, which to me is just another that's synonymous with higher taxes.
Are they charging to get in for this?
Hey,
because of revenue. Just an idea.
Hey, she needs to concern herself with the crime that's going on in the city. That's what she needs to concern her with. I know we have a budget. I know there's a deficit, but there are people, innocent people, 8-year-old girl died in senseless gunfire. Concentrate on the crime that's going on in the city's south and west sides. That's what you do.
Money will
Well,
come.
absolutely. And Jerry, and our listening audience, you're going to have an opportunity to really talk about this and engage in one-on-one commentary, because following the Thursday evening talk at the Washington Library, Mayor Lightfoot is going to give a series of town halls. There's going to be 4 of them. The first one is going to be the week after Labor Day, and that's going to be on the northwest side. I'll find out that location, and I will inform you next week.
Thank you.
On the lighter side, the Music Box Theater. Oh, my gosh. I have never been to the Music Box. Ladies and gentlemen, they are celebrating their 90th year of being in business. 1 minute you could be watching a classic, the next couple of hours a foreign film, then you could be watching a horror film. You never know what's going to go on at the Music Box. Get over there, call them, find out. They've got lots of things planned. Don't miss out.
There you go, Marty. What else you got for us?
Okay. Interesting. I'm excited about golf, as most of you are. Well, there's a new owner at the Eagle Ridge Resort and Country Club in Galena.
Nice.
And they are going to do all kinds of updates. There are 4 restaurants that are all going to be redone. Can't wait to get there. The ladies love their spa. Oh, my gosh. It sits on, I think it must be close to 250 acres of water. It's gorgeous down there. Try to get out there this fall, but if not, next year for sure. Plan an outing. The Eagle Ridge is going to be better than ever.
Nice. That sounds good. What else, the man on the street, before we're out of here?
Okay, one other thing, we're going to follow this more closely, and hopefully we can get these ladies into our studio. There's a lot of conjecture right now. I think there's an impasse that's been reached on this merger between the Jackson Park and the South Shore golf courses. Yeah. I listened to these ladies talk the other evening, Brenda Nelms with the Jackson Park Watch, and, of course, a very vociferous Tracy Raoul with the Jackson Park Golf Association. There's a lot to talk about that. They're very concerned about preserving tranquility, the beauty of the area. The environment must be maintained until they can reach, right on, Denny, until they can reach an agreement here. Things are not moving along too swiftly. But we'll keep you posted on that.
Those are very good golf courses on the south side.
Jerry, I've never played either one, but I want to play them this fall.
Well, I haven't played them either, but I know a lot of people who have played them, and they just sing accolades and just trumpet, the good things that are going on over there.
How about a foursome? You two and them two. I'll be the caddy. I can't play.
You're on.
Good.
Hey, one thing, keep this in mind. For those of you that are WTTW listeners and viewers, if you want to meet everybody there on Friday, September 20th, and I'm going to go at 5 o'clock, it's going to be a meet and greet. You can meet all your favorite people on the show. They're going to have a segment that's going to be a spotlight politics panel, refreshments, delicious hors d'oeuvres, and you can do all of this for just $100.
Sounds good. Hey, we got to get out of here. Devin Tingle has given us the wrap. Before we say goodbye, check out Walter Payton on WGN Channel 9. Savoring Sweetness, The Life and Times of Walter Payton will premiere at 7 p.m. September 4th on the Tribune Broadcasting Station and stream live on WGNTV.com/live. It will be rebroadcast at 10 p.m. September 7th on WGN and at noon September 8th on WCLTV. Walter Payton's son, Jared Payton, will be conducting the interviews with some former players. This is the fastest hour in sports conversation. Thanks to Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, Marty-B, the man on the street, Dan Marvelous Marvel on our hotline, and, of course, the fabulous one, Bill Madlock, joining us on our TRS60 hotline. Gabe Salgado, guaranteed rate. Take it away, TRS60 update.
TRS60 Sports Update.
In the White Sox 2-0 win over the Texas Rangers on Sunday, both runs came courtesy of Jose Abreu, who now has 100 regular season RBIs for the 5th time in his career. He also now has 1,002 career hits after getting 3 hits over the last 2 games to put him over the career mark. He becomes the 29th White Sox player to do so, and after the game, Abreu says that he's surprised that he reached this career plateau so early in his career.
No, como te puedo decir, son cosas que pasan así inesperadamente. Yo creo que lo único que tenemos que enfocarnos, y siempre me enfoqué en jugar, en aportarle todo lo que uno puede a la institución, y somos bendecidos de llegar a esa meta.
No, not really. I think
these things happen. I mean, in my case, unexpected. I don't play it for rewards. I don't play for accolades. Should I say? I just try to do my best every day. Try to help this team win every day. Prepare myself to do that every day as hard as I can.
This update is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation, and I'm Gabe Salgado for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820 Chicago.
Hey, Chicago, looking for a winning team on a winning station? You found it right here on WCPT 820 AM. Join Danny Carlino, Kelly Lee Williams, Dan Marvelous Marver, Marty-B, the man on the street, Gabe Salgado with updates, and yours truly, Jerry Riles, for your sports and entertainment needs. Looking for real sports talk? Got it. Real radio? Right here. Real stuff? We're here. The Rewind Sports 60 every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM. Real sports, real talk, just plain real. Lock it in.
To the ball game, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson.
All right. Let's hear it from the greatest fans ever. On three. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for its root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey, let's get some runs. Thank you.
Hey, Chicago, looking for a winning team on a winning station? You found it right here on WCPT 820 AM. Join Danny Carlino, Kelly Lee Williams, Dan Marvelous Marver, Marty-B, the man on the street, Gabe Salgado with updates, and yours truly, Jerry Riles, for your sports and entertainment needs. Looking for real sports talk? Got it. Real radio? Right here. Real stuff? We're here. The Rewind Sports 60 every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM. Real sports, real talk, just plain real. Lock it in.